it's making fun of the fact that, like, in 5th ed, if you make a charisma check that you technically succeed, but it's out of character for the other person to be seduced anyway, you don't succeed. Like, it creates an impossible to succeed matrix. In 3.5, if your fucking stats were high enough, it didn't fucking matter. Okay? If you had 35 in charisma, like, no matter what was going on, if you rolled high enough, nobody would care. So what it was, is this was a bear, an everyday grizzly bear, who had such a high charisma score that they were guaranteed to pass nearly any charisma check. And through process of some goddamn convoluted mess of a story, this grizzly bear becomes Lord Barrington, Lord of the Barrington House. And he has this big castle and this big mansion and a butler that, like, speaks English for him.
How does the butler understand him, though?
Nobody knows.
Okay.
This is the Chewbacca incident, where, like, Chewbacca could be saying anything for all we know, and Han Solo is just filling in what he believes. Right? So what happens is, like, Lord Barrington throws these huge parties, and they invite all the best adventurers in the land to them. Big dining hall full of adventurers and kings and people who are coming to witness, like, the feasts and parties of the famous Lord Barrington, who, may I remind you, is a motherfucking grizzly bear.
Did he eat any of his people?
No. Everyone just thinks he's an actual lord. They just think his name is Barrington.
They've never met him?
No, everyone's met him. This is why it's fucking hilarious. His charisma is so high that everyone is convinced Lord Barrington, the motherfucking grizzly bear, is a human. Is a motherfucking human.
Paul, when did you become a D&D character? You're furry enough to pass for a bear.
So, what happens is, while you're at these parties, you, like, people make perception checks when Lord Barrington does weird things. Because, like, if you try and ask Lord Barrington a question, he just makes bear noises. He's like, rah, 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 rah. And then his butler will be like, oh, Lord Barrington says thank you very much. And everyone just fucking assumes that he's like, everyone's like, thank you, Lord Barrington, thank you for this great party. Everyone thinks this fucking bear is a person. And what happens if you somehow roll a perception check high enough to pass his charisma manipulation, his disguise check.
Would it take essentially a nat 20?
Yeah.
Because that's an auto succeed no matter what.
Your character stands up. Like, you're compelled to stand up. This is part of the effect of Lord Barrington. And you go, oh my god, Lord Barrington is a bear! And everyone looks at you and then looks at Lord Barrington. And Lord Barrington goes, huh? And then a bunch of guards sprint over and drag you out of the party, kicking and screaming, while you're professing that Lord Barrington is a grizzly bear, not a man. And then they come back and they're like, we're sorry, Lord Barrington, we're so sorry, we don't know what came over him, we're sorry for his offense to your house, Lord Barrington. And then the party just keeps going. And this has been going on for years. Every so often somebody fucking realizes Lord Barrington is not a human, and nobody believes them. Everyone is convinced that Lord Barrington is a motherfucking bear.
I'm convinced that there is now a cult of people who've come together who know he's a bear, and they're plotting. They're plotting against Mr. Barrington, Lord Barrington, because they have to. If there's enough people who get it, they make a little cult of the anti-Barrington, the anti-Barrington bear cult, and they're gonna come and get him one day.
At some point, I'll find the full story of Lord Barrington, and I will just get really fucking wasted and read it to you guys. Because it's...
I just want to hear more bear noises.
It's a fucking riot.
I just want to hear more bear noises. I love your bear noise.
Oh. What? Rah, 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 rah.
I want to, like, dub in all these actual bear noises. Like, rah!
I don't think I have any. Otherwise I would.
Yeah.
Because, with permission, this is going up.
Lord Barrington's a fucking riot. It's also why I refuse to play D&D 3.5.
I love the 3.5. Like I love 3.5.
I like playing 3.5. I don't like running 3.5.
I want to break. Now I want to find a way to break D&D.
So...
Can I be a cat? You make Lord Taddington.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
Play-wise and DM-wise, my two favorite to run are 5th Ed and AD&D. AD&D is nice and simple. It's super streamlined because, it was early in the cycle. They didn't have a lot of content yet. But it's fun because of it. It's really easy to pick up.
One stick sessions?
Yeah.
See, personally, I have to say that of all of them, the one that I like the most, at least listening to, has got to be 4th Ed.
Yeah.
I've listened to some 5 Ed streams podcasts, and it could just be the group dynamic when they shifted to 5th Ed. I didn't like as much, but there's one that's running 4th Ed primarily. Currently, they're doing a Pathfinder. Major spoilers. I might as well just call them out because I'm going to fucking post this anyway. Major spoilers. They're Critical Hit podcast. Primarily 4th Ed. Currently running Pathfinder, which is 3.5 fixed.
Yeah. Pathfinder
They've run...
of the complex formats, Pathfinder is my favorite. I'm running Starfinder right now, which is made by the same people.
Right. They also have done Call of Cthulhu. They've done... Which,
I don't personally like it, but it's fun to listen to.
It's really fun to listen to, especially Cthulhu and Friends.
Yeah.
Why not tag them all?
My problem so far with Call of Cthulhu is I tried to play a session. My D&D crew that meets on Friday nights, we meet every other week now, because we used to do every other week. We'd do Rogue Trader, which is a Warhammer 40k one, and then Call of Cthulhu. Right now we do Call of Cthulhu and then Destiny as a group. Destiny 2, not Destiny 1. Like, I finally figured out why some people are still playing Destiny 1. It's because some people are playing the 360 and PlayStation 3 version, which is why they haven't moved to Destiny 2, because they can't.
Never played, so I have no.
Yeah. But my problem with Call of Cthulhu so far has been the combat mechanic of the fact that all creatures inherently have a dodge skill.
Yes.
On top of you having a to hit skill. And my problem with it is, I know it's technically impossible because one of the highest things you're going to see a creature have is 15%. But theoretically, if you've built all of your points to hit, if for somehow, it's virtually impossible, but if you somehow had the highest skill stat in, like, handguns, 99, that means normally you have a 1% chance to fail.
Right.
But if for some reason the enemy has got a 99% dodge chance, you have a 1% chance of succeeding.
Right.
You can build a character that should be impossible to fail a skill check and then still fail it because of the mechanic. And I don't like that in a tabletop.
And I can understand that. Part of why I do appreciate that and actually kind of like it, and I would love playing that, is because most of the monsters that you're going up against are fucking eldritch abominations from hell.
Yeah, that's fair.
Not hell, right?
That's why I like listening to it. It's just, as a mechanic, it's one of the few mechanics that's frustrating for me as a player. And I've learned from, I used to just play any tabletop. Didn't matter how good or bad it was.
Right.
But I've played enough at this point that I know which ones I really like. And I know if I'm going to have fun with a mechanic or not.
Yeah. See, I could see having fun with that mechanic personally. AD&D, too much math. 3.5. It hits the sweet spot on math, but I get lost in the fucking character sheets, which is part of why, honestly, I get lost in them. I don't know why. I just do.
I can go over why the
you
things
like
I like
really
about 3.5 and 4.
GURPS. I love GURPS.
Which one's GURPS?
Generic Universal Role-Playing System by
That's
Steve
right.
Jackson Games.
Yeah.
You brought all of it home.
I brought my books home.
Gotcha.
But,
I like Fate. Fate's really good too.
Major Spoilers has done that.
I'm trying to get over with the
Gotcha.
shot.
Fate's really fucking fun. It's also a good one for just running generic things in.
Right.
Because it's really easy to modify a sheet to fit the world you're in for
Right.
Fate.
See, the problem I've come across...
Because that's what I run Mass Effect in.
What I've come across for people who have problems with GURPS is they don't have DMs that limit.
Yeah. Oh my god. That was one of the first lessons I ended up learning, is as a DM, you need to know when to say no.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you let the rule of cool go by, what you have is, my last time I tried to play Mage, the fact that I derailed the campaign on session 1. Yeah. Because I know Mage like the back of my hand. It's one of my favorite formats. So the DM, my friend Tom, and I love him, he's great, but sometimes he lets the rule of cool run his games a little too much. And basically what happened is I killed the boss that was supposed to be the final encounter of the game. He was supposed to show up in the first session, basically kick us in, kick our teeth in, show us that he's the big bad, and then run off. And The DM let me build without limitations based on the rule of cool, as long as I could fit it within the normal point total, and I killed the boss, the final boss of the game, 11 minutes into the session.
No. You do not. You learn to say no. My brother, he was going to run essentially a two-player character
gosh.
X-Files game.
Gotcha.
So there were specific advantages we had to take.
Yeah.
We were starting off at 150-point characters because you're FBI agents.
Yeah.
So we had specifically to take Code of Honor. We had
Yep,
specifically to take security clearance.
Correct.
We had to have some form of, and all of our advantages and skills had to fall within reasonable slots for the FBI. And we had to build our characters based around coming from a separate section of FBI.
Yeah.
My personal character was pulled in from HRT.
Yep.
HRT Sniper.
Yep.
Because I knew my other guy.
So what I was being trained to do before the military realized I'm literally mentally unstable in every sense of the word.
Right.
Before they went, we really like you, but there's like mentally unstable, and then there's you.
Yeah. But it was HRT Sniper because because I went way too much into my homework. HRT, as far as I could tell, you do have rotating positions amongst them.
Yep.
So
yeah.
You do have to have,
because that's actually
they
like
have to be relatively all competent in sniper fire. They all have to be relatively competent in breach, in security, in all
like
of that.
if you're better at one than the other, they might assign you the position more, but they do rotate positions.
Right.
Mostly, the main reason is because being in one position doing one type of job can get really fucking stressful, especially for the sniper.
Yes.
But like originally, when I hadn't decided what I was going into, my 3 plans were if I went I had a military pathway, then I had my science pathway, and then I had my design pathway. I was either going to end up in innovation, which is where I'm at now, where I did innovation in game design, or I was going to end up in engineering and physics, working in engine design, which I still might go back and do my master's and PhD in instead.
Babe, that was so sexy. I got it on camera.
Nice.
Hi, YouTube.
Hi. And then my other plan was if I decided to go into the military, which for obvious reasons didn't happen. The reasons at the time were more personal because I was in a long-term relationship and I didn't want to like.
That's the whole reason why I didn't go when Blackwater called me.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, when I was first moving to Nebraska, Blackwater called me up and said, "Hey, we want you. We want you to be a cook on a forward deployed position. $130K a year, 3 months on, 1 month off."
That's pretty solid. But
I
yeah,
almost took it, but Lori and I were just starting, and it was right as I was leaving New Hampshire.
Gotcha.
So it's one of those.
Yeah.
Do I take it? Do I not take it? And
Do you regret it now?
I talked to her, and actually, yeah, I do regret that. That is the job that got away.
Even though it led you to me.
That's fair.
Yeah,
but that
every
is
choice,
a really good job opportunity.
$130K a year at 24.
Yeah.
Not even 24. I
Yeah.
got out of the Navy at 20. I did 3 years.
But
so
my,
I was like 23, 20. Yeah, I was 23 looking at 24.
What about me, though? You met me for a bit. Your camera lost all focus. You guys are blurry blobs.
Yeah, it happens.
That happens, especially when it's night
tap
out.
on one of us.
I did, and it's just like, oh, there we go.
It's also partially because like it doesn't have a good reference on the back behind us.
Yeah. Well, where I was standing, you were slightly grainy because of the darkness, but that's why I was standing where I was, because there was enough light coming towards you.
But I was gonna spend, I was gonna do standard enlistment, 4 years on, 4 years off.
Standard enlistment is a 4-year contract, not 4 years off.
That's right.
Trust me.
Yeah. And then I was, because that actually already worked out with my recruiter based on some scoring stuff. I was going to spend a couple years in. I was going Marines. I was going to be a Marine.
Oh God.
It's because where they like the skill set I had. Like Marines had the largest number of relative squad positions for me.
This is understandable.
But yeah, as a Navy guy.
Well, no. As a military member who has gone through, and I actually did my homework before I decided to go Navy. I actually stuck with the main 4 branches. I should have checked out I should have checked out the Puddle Pirates, but I didn't.
You're gonna get Puddle Pirates getting mad at you.
Oh, I know. But the
Yeah.
Coasties can eat me. I'm a squid. They can eat me.